Well, there's a lot, isn't there, Sonia?
Yes,
there's a lot in the skies.
Yes, there is. If you can't see something in the skies, you're not looking.
It is full.
And you're not open to see it. Yep.
Yeah. When clouds come with sharp right and left angles also, think about this. Since when do clouds come with angles? When? Oh,
really? Any of those? Need to get out.
Yeah, think about it. Oh, why is this cloud got these sharp angles? This cloud look like it's boxy, pyramidal, da 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 da. What, you think that's normal? At least in this reality, no.
It's one of those belief filters we have within us too, where we will see a cloud. Something's there. We have to put something there that suits our reality. It's a cloud now. Because I can point out and go, cloud. You're seeing something in the cloud.
Well, hypnotism, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we blanket. You can see with hypnotism, people can be made invisible. You can see the objects behind them.
Yeah, yeah. There's that clip of a guy, and he looks through his daughter, and it just
that's Michael Talbot.
Back, and he can describe what it is. It's
Michael Talbot. Holographic universe. And he dies a year later of unusual circumstances. After that
really?
book. I've got the book in there. Yeah.
You guys know you do this anyway. Like you take an object and then you relax your eyes and now you're seeing two objects.
Yes, and you go deeper the more you stare into it.
One's phasing in, phasing out. So now you have three objects too in front of you. One where they're both together, but then you have this phasing. You can actually look and balance that and see through it, and there's nothing in your hand.
When I look at things long enough and I'm just kind of spacing out, all of a sudden everything's disappearing. It's like, oh shit, I better get back in here because there's no reality around me.
Yes. And that is how you train to do it as well. It's something you've just got to keep doing because it's a muscle thing. It's a physical thing as well. We have to connect all these things.
I'll practice that later. Have a little go. I know exactly what you mean. I just haven't had that moment where maybe I have. When it becomes invisible. I think I may have.
We snap ourselves out of it. We snap ourselves out of it. So go, no, I was there. I'll just go back there. And the more you can do that, you're training that muscle. You're just getting your ability back again.
To see more, It's like we can't see.
You're doing it.
Greenish blue. Is it green? Yeah. Greenish blue, yellowish blue. Like when you put yellow on blue, the brain actually flicks from blue to yellow. It won't like merge them.
Yeah, what's going on with them two together? And they shake as well, don't they? When
But they did experiments and they actually trained people to see another color. And all they could describe it as was bluish green, but they were saying that they were seeing, and they got their brain to merge the two colors.
Yeah, it's like being colorblind is limiting your view. You're just not seeing. You can widen that. You're not stuck with it.
Well, you think when we go to school, they tell us the colors. There's only 7 colors.
True. Yeah.
Frequency, right?
What's happening is when you see different colors, all you're doing is changing the frequency of that here.
Going from
because colors are frequency. That's why you see them as colors, because it's the frequency that's held in wave.
Everything's frequency, isn't it? And everything's how we interpret it.
Everything is frequency. This is an electrical reality.
It's like that thing, like nothing's like you said, Mark, nothing's outside. It's everything's, we don't see anything outside of us, or we see it inside our head. And people
all we see is that the difference of that frequency, the middle point of that frequency. That's all we see. That's all we experience. If it's not balanced, if that frequency is not balanced, we will balance ourselves within that frequency. So the more you can hear, the more you can see, the more frequency, the more of the frequency that you can sense and feel, you can balance yourself within that. So raising awareness and raising you're extending that frequency out, more difference, more potential you're seeing, and you balance yourself within it.
Which is knowledge, isn't it? It's awareness, it's information.
Definitely.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. The more you know.
The more you know.
Think about the difference between Sophia and Michael in this instant. Who are we balancing with?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Balance with nature, balance with Sophia.
Yes,
Get rid of-
yes, because Sophia is the construct of this area, of this
Yeah.
reality.
So
She
basically,
would
that's
be,
nature.
I don't know if anybody knows this, but Sophia is Gaia.
Yeah.
Well, that's the name they gave it in ancient times, Sophia. It's
So,
Gaia,
Sophia,
isn't it?
yeah. And
Sophia is Gaia.
Gaia, yeah, exactly. That's
Female energy, of
And
course.
that AI woman has been called Sophia as well, uncannily. Have you noticed that?
Hmm.
The AI
The
woman.
robot
Have you ever
one?
seen it? Yeah, the robot one. Her name's Sophia.
Really?
Makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Makes perfect sense. It's a hijacking.
Yeah, of
Yeah,
course
yeah,
it
but-
is.
Where's
Tell us
Sophia?
like that.
There's no Sophia. Where's Sophia?
AI.
There's only one. Yeah.
All in plain sight, guys. That's right.
Yeah, that was in I saw bloody Vanilla Skies the other day.
Oh, brilliant.
Tom Cruise.
I never saw it.
Was it?
I don't know what that is.
What was it? Was it a Sophia or was it a Julia? No, it was Sophia, wasn't it?
Oh, it was Sophia as well.
Sophia
You're damn
and
right it
Julia.
was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
Julia.
then he has all those scenes with the mask on the back and the front, the Janus.
Well, yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Right,
of course. He's
yeah,
not
yeah.
really here, is he? He's all simulation.
Yeah, but
Two-Faced.
Did you notice, if you've seen it, you know how at the end, he wakes up. Like the whole thing has to be a dream though, right? Because the very first scene, when he runs down the street and there's no one there and he's driving a Ferrari,
Yeah,
he wakes up in the bed next to the blonde girl, Juliana.
yeah.
And she's recorded that
So-
message for him.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
And then
Is
later
it
they
prior?
say that he woke up after the accident. Remember the first time he woke up
Well,
was
yeah,
after the
because
accident.
because Cameron Diaz flaked out on him and crashes the car.
Yeah, but
mangles him up, and that's the state he's in there. But prior to that, this is unreal life.
but at the very first when he's had that dream before he's had the crash, that first dream where he knows that he's
Oh yeah,
if you know what I
I
mean?
see what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah. So that means that the whole thing is actually a dream.
yeah. Oh,
Yeah, I know,
that's,
right?
that's a layer I never considered in that movie. I'm gonna have to watch it again.
Expanding layers out.
Sorry, Sonia. I don't normally watch. I found out for some reason
I don't watch TV. I
I've got a
don't watch
bloody
movies,
stand.
and
I
don't
found out I
watch
had like a
anything.
subscription. And I'm like, oh crap, I just paid a bloody subscription for a month, so I thought I'd watch some movies, but I haven't watched movies in ever.
I have decades of movies and TV and you name it, I have got to catch up on decades.
I never got movies, hey. I'd just sit there just like, because I'd sit there and I'd just go, that's fake, that's fake. They didn't do that right. What about this? That doesn't, and
Very analytical.
People go, that was awesome. I'm like, are you serious? That was just
Yeah.
fucking made sense. It's like,
That saved you from a lot of the programming. It's when you go along with your feeling and you're not analyzing anything at all.
I just never
It's-
got it.
yeah.
All these people are like really into movies. And I'm a Star Wars fan and I'm a this fan, and I'm like, really? But really? I understand it's all fake and stuff, right? And it's not real and
Can't look at it.
really? I don't know.
I've had an urge to watch a few movies now, which I've seen before because I did watch a lot before. And I found it's just I have to still clear something or I have to find something, and pretty much they're all overlays of what's happening now. It's like, oh yeah, that's we have been programmed and I'm clearing this. And it's really I'm not even watching them really. It's in the background or something.
Yeah.
And I'm noticing the point I need to, and that's it.
Yeah, I find it difficult to watch any violence in films.
Never.
No, at this
Unless
stage.
I watch martial arts, but not violence.
Well, yeah, I watch martial arts and stuff, but I
yeah,
mean,
none of
like,
that.
there was a new Wrong Turn put on. It was about a cult in the woods, so I thought that might be interesting because they've been there hundreds of years, hidden from society, like a hidden civilization, if you like. That sounds really interesting. I think I'll watch that. But it was all like these really graphic, violent scenes in there. You know, the
I
usual
never-
American teenagers all get murdered scenario.
Oh,
but
goodness.
it was-
Gaming.
Yeah.
Gaming.
Why?
Gaming's
That's-
massive.
That's a basic recipe for a horror film, isn't it? A load of American frat people all get hideously murdered.
A hacker movie. I don't like
I'll
that.
take a break from watching movies and go play a game and kill more people. I will kill people. Like, what?
Yeah,
It's
that's why you watch the movie to
desensitization.
learn how to kill people. Then you go ahead.
Yeah, it's for the future wars, man. They're gonna have, do you know, like with these heat guns, you know, they're pointing at people. So that's desensitizing
yeah,
children into that. Get used to these guns and things being
Yeah,
pointed
yeah,
at
on your
people,
head,
'cause that's the
yeah.
way it's gonna be going.
Yeah.
Horrible.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
desensitization.
Now,
And they are actually shooting that there.
yeah,
It's
Sharp.
light that they're putting,
In your pineal glands.
damaging,
In your pineal
blocking
glands.
your third eye. Yep, damaging the third eye. It's a gun. They've literally put a spiritual gun to someone's head. Like,
I'm
That's
going to
spiritual
become.
gun.
What happens if you become a Sikh and you get one of those red dots? Can you say, look, that's a religious oppression? You can't put your gun on my.
You gotta have it on your hand. They do it on your
Frequency.
hand. Yeah.
frequency.
You know
You're
what
putting
I
a
think
color
of?
there.
The red dots.
The red dot.
Bullseye.
Yeah. When they
Bullseye.
come up to do it, you're in. I've already got it, mate. Can't you see? Go away. Got my red dot. Oh, bloody hell!
Don't know if that work. It's a good
So-
theory though. Try it.
I also see that as a balancing, because blue is mind, blue is here, and red is
Throat
down.
chakra.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's putting red there to balance it out, sort of thing.
Is it a red light? Is it
Red frequency. Well, a red dot.
red dot?
Red dot. I'm not talking
with
about the-
Sikhs. Yeah, sorry.
No. Yeah.
Not the gun.
No, but just the dot. Yeah, that's how I see it. You know, it's
Yeah.
that's what a symbol, or as a symbol or a frequency of focus. Yeah.
I read today that in Ethiopia their clocks are upside down.
They're what?
Their clocks.
Because
So 12 is at
Upside
the
down.
bottom and 6 is at the top.
Huh.
So there you go.
huh?
That just blew
Sorry,
everyone's
my head
mind, didn't it? That's what I was like.
Say that again. Say that again. I'm not sure. I think I might have had that cloaking thing happen. I might just fucked up.
You heard it right. In Ethiopia, the
balls are on
clocks are
top.
upside down.
Cognitive dissonance. Cognitive dissonance.
So 6,
I
5,
got
4,
proof.
3, and then 12 at the bottom. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 6 at the top.
Right, I require proof.
Inversion. Again, inversion.
I've only read it, so I have to go looking for it. I will. I'm going to make a video. The upside down clocks of Ethiopia.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know.
yeah.
There's something strange going on with Ethiopia.
Ethiopia, yeah.
Yeah, I
Um,
noticed they were outside of the phonetics for a start off on the world map of phonetics. They were one of the only places on Earth bar China. Not only that, they obviously had Haile Selassie. They say is the hiding place of the Ark of the Covenant. They say there's that mystical little church, only a stone's throw from them buried mud flood cross Coptic churches.
Yeah,
Or
those Coptic churches.
in your Armenian churches in East Africa.
The Book of
I think-
Enoch.
Book of Enoch, I was just going to that as well.
And
And they say that all of these men who look after this little place with the Ark of
darn.
the Covenant, they all have cataracts and have to be replaced, but they're there like hundreds of years or something.
yeah,
And they got a really well-equipped army as well to guard that place. So if anyone
You do
messes,
realize that the Ark of the
Can't do
Covenant
it.
isn't the only one. It was the
No, I
material.
got-
It was the
exactly.
material that was in the sarcophagus of all these different pyramids.
yeah, yeah.
it
they were
fits
like
right into the
it's like a
apparent
energy
softness
source
of the
into the
yeah, definitely activates it.
Is that how?
Is there, Sonia? Is there only one Atlantis?
I would say this entire snow globe is Atlantis. It's not one single place. It's the whole thing. Because
Yeah.
at one point, we didn't have the water like that in here. Think about all the epicenters that are under the water. Okinawa, right off Japan, right off of Portugal, right down by the Caribbean, the whole Bimini area.
Yeah, India,
Then you go
Yeah,
on
Bimini,
the
yeah.
other side of
Micronesia.
think of these places were all above water. Well,
Yeah.
if they were all above water, and even in the Pacific Ocean, there's places that they still haven't, well, they haven't out yet. Okay, so that means the entire thing was Atlantis. The ring was the snow globe. So everything inside of here was Atlantis.
So,
We've been taken down.
so the 3 rings. This is the thing they talk about, the 3 rings in Atlantis, and then you've got the 3 rings of
Here's
Lord of the
the thing.
Rings. You've got then we've got the Arctic Circle, and then the tropics, and It's all the same thing, isn't it?
Yes, because
that's
in
really
all these
interesting.
epicenters, because there's pyramids on every single continent that's still above water.
Yep.
There's the pyramids
And
that are
under
under the water. They
Mm.
all had the same design with the canals. So
Exactly.
it's not just one, it's everyone had this system. Everyone had this system. It was a one unified system when it was the time of the pyramids. And then, of course, catastrophes happened, and then we went into the antiquitech reality. But those beings were the same beings. So even though they were in different, like oriental, black, white, yellow, brown, whatever, red, when they came back, they did the antiquitech, but because they were the leftovers from the pyramids. And it was that last catastrophe we had that we were so severed.
Mhm.
So severed.
Yeah, man. This is the dark ages.
So it was
Yeah.
a continuation from the pyramids to the antiquitech and then to nothing.
They never happened. So
Yeah.
the antiquitech was when it stepped down and became more mechanical.
Yes, yes. It was already having a part of a degradation. The perfect uniform form was the pyramidal system.
Pyramid. Yes.
And then it was the antiquitech, and then it was the disassembling of the antiquitech to what we have now.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And it's the same as when I looked at it too and overlaid the body on the pyramid. It's the same thing. It's just, but the pyramid is a beautiful, simple, very
Yeah.
simplified version of it. And everything got complicated from there. Like,
Yeah, that's all earthen technologies.
So did the ark, was that the power source, and is that what turned them off when you know people came and stole it and ran across the desert with it?
Well, first off, if you go back to the pyramids, everything in here, there was no deserts. There was none of that. It was all one uniform temperature, and it was like a kind of like a terrarium kind of thing.
trees
There was
everywhere.
There was none of that. That's why we have the Prairie Res map, and we have all these other maps, because at one point we didn't have the freezer units that were pulled in. They had they had these devices down in Antarctica. It was a whole epicenter with pyramids, the whole thing. And they brought in this tech. It's like a basalt tech with crystalline in it, and it keeps and freezes. They have them at both places. It freezes like a freezer unit, but it's actually done with the tech is like biological and mechanical, and it's done on crystalline with basalt rock. So when they came in and decided to take us over, they froze us, because in the freezing created this horrific weather. We got weather now. We got this massive water coming from the sky when we never used to have that. We used to have this one uniformal humidity, and it watered everything, and it would be collecting with dew, and it was constant, and everything floors. There was no degradation. So when they bring the freezer units in, everything got frozen. So everything had to go into a stasis, kind of like what do you call that when they
Hibernation.
Yeah.
Hibernation. Yeah.
So it's a stagnation, but so hibernation. When it goes into hibernation, it is a form of stagnation. It stops just to survive, and not everything does survive. But oh gosh, I'm off topic.
No, go on. They stasis sort of thing. And then when they thaw out, then what?
Well, over time, it looks like that's when they bring when they bring the freezer units in on both places. That's when they bring the dome in, and they separated us from the bigger Earth, because in our crater it is completely flat, because we're in a crater. We're in a dish. It's like an upside down turtle. Who was it that was talking about the upside down turtle? Was that you, Campbell?
No, I've been talking about upside down too. Like last bloggage.
That's a representation of our crater, and then they domed that shit, so we can't get out. Oh, the dome is interesting too. The water that's in the dome is plasmic, and it's also technology, and it's 100%. If you took scrapings of that wall, that would be your heavy water. That's the water
definitely deuterium. Yeah, it is heavy water. Yeah,
the heavy water. It's coming off that dome because it's 100% pure. It doesn't have
no, it's dense. You couldn't go through it as such. You know, we've seen these dense waters.
That thing is miles and miles thick.
Yeah.
I mean, and you know they double domed us. This is why we're having the double rainbows now.
Yeah.
Because they
I would
double
go more.
domed us. We put a dome over a dome, and now we're having double rainbows. And they just appeared, what, 2-3 years ago?
So they weren't
just
around
appeared.
years ago.
It's
I
because-
don't know. Can't remember. Were they?
We never had double rainbows because we never had a double dome. The
Oh,
rainbow was being caused from the
remember.
reflection of the light bouncing around.
Yeah, I know
and it
that.
shows
I
you
can't
the dome
remember
shape.
seeing it. You're right. You're right. I
I
can't
can't
remember seeing it
remember
before.
No, we've got double rainbows now for the first time in
I
every
know.
place because we've got a double shooting going on, and it's doing like this kind of a bounce, and it's showing the two domes. That's why you got the two double rainbows.
Oh yeah, of course. I know they have increased. I've seen loads of pictures lately of double
Double
rainbows.
rainbows. I got them here all the time. I'm taking pictures of them all the time. Double rainbows. They double domed us.
Because the bottom one's failing. Or the old one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, right.
This is our seasons, right? It's like we're splitting and splitting and splitting and splitting. You know.
They know how it works. The elites, the powers
It's just,
should
yeah.
probably know how this place
It's
works.
Biden, right? The dome's only 50% effective, so where to?
Well, that's they know there's other places in here. There's land closer by, you know, and even interdimensionally, there's places.
Oh, there's two places you can get out. You can go under the ground through the rail
Yeah.
systems that run thousands of miles an hour.
100%.
Or portals. We have natural portals here where if you meet the vibration, you can
100%.
walk out of this place.
That's what I think.
Portals.
That's what I
Tree.
think.
We have portals to go underground to get out of this doming prison.
Tree portals? Like,
Time bandits. They got the map. You need that.
I think this is where all the stories come from too about the pyramids and ascension and all of this as well, because it's basically a fact. It's processing water and it's placing the frequency and vibration into that water, which in turn is feeding us and the environment and everything around us.
Yeah.
So you know, those ideas of the fountain of youth and all of this as well, all in the water, and the water is purifying us and helping us to balance so we can do our own natural thing, which is all of this stuff. We can go through portals, but you can only do it through center. Like in terms of your balanced state, you have to be balanced to access anything.
Yes, I agree. This is how we get through the plot. This is how it is. This is it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Vibrationally, you have to be
You have
ready.
to match the frequency in order to go through. Like there will be portals around you, and you wouldn't see them because we only see 1% of the spectrum. But if you could look through your pineal gland and your pituitary gland, and then use your eyes as the physical medium, you could see portals, and you could either walk around them. A lot of people can walk through them because they don't match the frequency. They're not going anywhere. But the minute you match that frequency, you're gone. Just like that. You can turn around. They're gone. You can walk
Like
through the
a Sasquatch.
Oh, this is exciting.
But Sasquatches don't work. Sasquatches are a little bit different. Sasquatches are comprised of plant and animal. They have an oscillating blood
the
system
plant.
that runs between the both of them.
Yeah, plants.
And here's the thing. What they do is they use the trees. And here's how they use the trees. They can eat the sap because trees are in 3D, 4D, 5D, 6D, 7D, 8D. They're in all the dimensions. So the tree sap, the Sasquatch eat the tree sap, and it vibrates them to that whatever dimension they're looking to or for, and they can literally standing in front of you, and they flip or slip out of this dimension because of the tree sap. Now, the problem is that they have to learn how to do this. So when they're young Sasquatch, they're the most vulnerable. So when they get older, they can actually bite into a tree or eat the tree sap, and boom, they're gone. They're just, they're here, but they're gone. All of the dimensions are here. They're superimposed on top of each other. So it looks like one long linear line. And if you had a way to traverse it through your frequency, you could be in and out of that dimension. We actually go in and out of the dimensions depending on our frequency that we hold, and we don't even realize we're doing it in a day.
All the time.
Mind splat. Brian splat.
so how do we find the train line?
Sap and secretion as well. It's like, researching the
good.
pyramids, trying to find a natural pyramid, and it's the beaver, right? The beaver creates a natural pyramid. And what's the beaver's secret? What does the beaver secrete? And it's the oil, right? And it's that oil that's highly regarded. Its castor oil is very similar to it. So that's why beaver, its castor is in the name of this. The scientific name for beaver is castor,
What?
and it's castor oil. That's the secret of the beaver. And where is the beaver in this pyramid? It's right in the middle. It is the heart of that pyramid. And oh, by the way, it's water and a dam and water moving through it. It's an energy that's happening in that natural pyramid.
Yeah.
Did you say castor oil comes from beavers?
So no, it's very similar. It's very similar, has the same effects, actually relaxes us.
Okay.
Yeah. It's an excretion from a beaver gland. We're not telling you where.
Let me clarify.
I was thinking, that does not sound right.
Okay.
Title card, beaver.
I go and bring my beaver.
It's a secret.
Sorry.
Jokes alone as well.
Yeah.
Oh
I go castor oil in here too. Castor oil in here too, because
castor oil
goes in
comes from
deeper.
plants, doesn't
In
it?
every-
Like flour.
in every moisturizer, there's castor oil as a base because it's a good carrier and brings whatever you put in castor oil into your muscles further.
Oh, it leaches it in.
Yeah,
That's
it just
nasty though,
penetrates
isn't it?
deeper.
It's vile though, isn't it? Castor oil is just vile.
That's what they used to make kids drink, wasn't it, when they were sick or
My
something?
But
mother
they
used to
forced
make- yeah.
people to take too much of it. So, of course,
Rufus.
you're detoxing and you just get the shits and it's torture. So they're trying to put the bad spin on it, right? Yeah.
Oh,
It's
boy.
like, no, castor oil's amazing and has been a
It's
huge.
not, it was horrible.
medicine.
My mother used to say, have it, it's good for you. It's like, it's nasty. It's like, have it.
Give you the shits.
No wonder I was so sickly as a child. My mother was poisoning me.
You might get poisoned.
You were getting castor oil poisoned. Oh my
Anything if you have too much of it is not
Explains a
good.
lot though.
Mm.
Explains a lot. Oh,
Terrible, terrible,
Um,
terrible.
Also the sound, like the word canon, as I decoded it, is non. So can is to know, non is to not know. So what are they doing with the canons? If it's a sound thing, maybe they're taking away their sound,
What about
ability to
what about
hear.
church canons? The Catholic canons.
well, that's it. That's the whole point, isn't it? What is their job originally? But I
You
was
know
thinking
what's
about what
funny
you said
those
about.
cannons?
Sorry.
You know what I see about those cannons? You know how on the back of the cannon they got that little thing
Yeah.
sticking
Yeah.
out? Wire, copper wire. I see them tying copper wire around it. I don't know why.
I just see sound coming out of them in a blast.
Makes it a pole
Yeah,
or something.
they
It makes it
a
a
copper wire. They run a copper wire and tie it around because it's an
Yeah.
energy device.
Yeah.
Oh
There's
yeah.
copper
Could-
wire to it.
Could create a differential
Thick,
in
heavy
the
copper
charge.
wire.
What's inside it, Sonia? What's in the barrel? Is there anything placed in the barrel?
No,
Barrel.
no. There's nothing in the barrel. We did that. We did that because we're stupid. It's not about that. It's,
Yeah.
it's
Clearly not
the
about
shape
that.
of it, what it's made out of, with the copper wire behind it. It's connected to something. I can't see what it's connected to though.
Are they
And it's
tuned?
like a direct,
Are they tuned?
Ah.
yeah.
The
It's a
size of it?
copper-
Well,
It's the
that's good.
same as the bell.
Yeah.
The bell is where I can tune this system. So all I have to do with the bell is shave the bell so it rings the right frequency, tuning it in with the building and the frequency you want, right? That's how you tune the system.
Mhm.
So, I mean, this
Cool.
copper wire, you can send frequencies down wires, right?
Oh yeah.
But
Yeah.
maybe it was just the way,
Yeah.
because they were back, because they didn't want to be next to it. And they were just,
Yeah.
When we're looking at the grid too, so as a computer grid, the water being the wire, where the information
where
and the ether.
The current
Yeah,
runs
yeah.
through it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
data stream.
And that's the thing, it was the current, they turned it into the current sea. All right.
I'm thinking a lot of these lava tubes and stuff probably had water going through them and stuff as well.
Well, a volcano is
Well-
even volcanoes.
No.
You nailed it, Campbell.
No. Sonia's like,
Campbell.
no.
Well,
ion?
just look at like this.
Sorry?
Oil. What do you think oil is? You think oil is some kind of dinosaur remains? No, it's not. They invented that shit.
It's type of water.
And it's actually the blood of this bigger
Yeah.
Earth. Because
Yeah.
believe it or not, there's a being that's solidified, that's Gaia, that's the energy being that made this place. And that black stuff is her blood. And it's sentient. And they've taken that sentient blood and made black goo out of it with tech. That's your black goo. How many people know that?
Yep. That makes sense.
And
Perfect sense.
My biggest thing about dinosaurs is this. Dinosaurs were found in a 2-mile radius in Utah above the ground. Yet we have to dig under the ground and we have to dig out in the ocean under the ground to get this dinosaur remains and vegetation that live in rock. I don't know about you, but what ecosystem lives inside of a rock? I mean, really? And then these oil fields, you go back 10 years, they fill back up again. You think the dinosaurs came back and refilled them? Oh, wow. Did they do that? Oh, but no. Jurassic Park. There must be Jurassic Park. You got
Insane, isn't it?
joking me. Yeah.
I know.
Decided to use the oil because once they lost the antiquitech, they wanted another means to control you. So they said, hey, great idea. Let's tell everybody that this came from something that can't be replenished. We're going to make our engines based on this and we're going to make money. So we're going to invent dinosaurs.
Yeah.
And back then they had to do it as well. They had to make the bloody thing. Now it's CGI. The CGI is much better. But back then they had to put all these bones together.
Yeah, why aren't we going out every time we do a building and hitting motherlode dinosaurs?
Mm.
Oh my God, I found a T-Rex. Look, I'm building a house or a shopping mall or a hospital or whatever. Where are dinosaurs?
Exactly.
Billions of years? Like how far down are they?
Yeah. Like they're like literally closer to the surface than mud flood buildings. It's like, really? Oh, okay.
When it makes no sense,
How does that work?
nonsense. Yeah.
How does that work? How does that work?
Theological.
Because all of these
Finding
bones,
something
they say
like
people
a
tripped over them. Like literally all of them, people have been walking along and they've tripped over a bone or they've seen it. No one's gone out and gone, oh, I think there's a bone here. I'm going to start digging, a mile down to find it. They're all on the surface. How the hell are they on the surface? Especially if all the buildings aren't,
And here's the thing, there are no real dinosaur bones. They're all, what are they?
Yeah.
Plastic.
They're not.
Not one on display anywhere in the
But
world.
I tell you what, all the mounds in America and all over the world, they dug out all those big giant bones and tossed them into the ocean.
Yeah.
So now
Yes.
the bones of people are being thrown in the ocean and we're given a narrative, and the bones of dinosaurs are being created and we're giving the narrative. And it's like, this is crazier than Wonderland.
It is. It's just
It's all
nuts.
mad. It's a mad
Invasion.
world.
Yeah. Hang on, back in the tick.
So also like Angkor Wat, Sonia, like with this water system, what we looked at with Angkor Wat really ties into this as well. It's like the Roman baths and all of this sort of stuff where you're in the water. So in Angkor Wat, all the lingams, the hundreds of lingams in the water,
Yes.
as a point of resonance point, and they're sitting on it in the water. Like,
Yeah. Look at its name, Callum. Anchor.
That's
What?
right.
Anchor, like ship's anchor. Anchor or what? Charge.
and what's it powering? What? Yeah. Us.
Yes, it is. Too funny. Too funny.
Yeah.
We have such, actually, if you started tearing apart everything that you just think you know, you'll realize you don't know anything.
This is the problem. This is keeps what's happening. Yeah, even if things change daily as well. One thing you thought you knew one day is completely false the next day. It's like, hang on a minute.
Yeah.
I don't.
And it's not like you're looking at anything too. It can just be a revelation, and you're like, oh, okay, now this has changed my my thinking.
Yeah, well, you know, one of my last posts when I showed you how easy it is to fake the official historical narrative, you know, with this boilerplate character that they put in all of these photographs through history, which is like, when I first looked at it, I was like believing it. I thought, yeah, shit, this is real. Wow, mind blow. And then you get down to the crux of it, it's all fake, made up into year 2000. I thought, well, you know, how much of this stuff is the same? You know, they just AI's just knocking these out, and they're just not, you know, the depictions, the narrative, all of it is just so mind blowing. It's just how much of it is deliberate, you know, put there for us to find.
All of it.
Yeah.
Oh, it's deliberate to make
All
you
of
have
it.
their reality they want to have.
Yeah.
I mean, they dumb us down and get us believing the most ridiculous scenarios. I mean, look in our world today. How much control have you just handed over? Because you don't question, you just follow. You're a sheep to the slaughter, to the slaughter.
Believe in absolutely anything they tell you is just, to me, that's some sort of insanity, you know, not to question, you know, not to critically think.
Absolutely everything. I mean, I'm the biggest skeptic you'll ever come across. I say the craziest things, but I'm the biggest skeptic. And that's why I research. And then I do my remote viewing and stuff. But yeah, I don't believe anyone. I don't believe anything. I'll go find out myself.
Same here.
There was a point when I was researching, and what I was researching was just confirming what I already knew. When I realized that, and I'm just proving it to myself, and went, wait a second, this is knowing that came from me, and all I'm doing now is proving that fact, so we can just go straight to the knowing, so that I know that to be true. Now, what do I need to find? And this is all synchronicity. Then you just find the right things that put the puzzle together for you, so you can explain it to other people as well. Because there's one thing about knowing, but then trying to explain that knowing, which is a feeling and a thinking. It's like all together.
I get this all the time. Prove it to me. And it's like, well, I don't know how to prove it to you, because if some of this information's not out there, how do you prove something that the information is completely wiped off? You have to start off somewhere.
I try and flip that as well. So I can't prove that for you, but I can disprove that for you.
Yeah.
It's the same as the globe is disproven. It's the same as the virus theory. Like, you know, it's disproven. Pasture could not infect anyone. Every time they've done an experiment, they couldn't infect anyone. It's just not true. It's disproven. That's why it's still a theory, because it can't be anything else. But if we don't take that little bit of logical information, and not because it's cognitive dissonance and all this, pushing that away, because you can't literally see that or make sense of that. But the actual sense is very simple once you see it and you go, oh, of course.
Yeah.
And that's how it's crazy for us too, because why can't you see this?
Because they really can't. You don't understand. These people are so... You might as well take them. There's a tarot card, and it's a woman with her hands tied behind her back, and she's all tied up. Her mouth is tied, her face is tied. They are that tarot card, and it's all here. It's all here. They are so rigid in their belief system that they couldn't crack that box if they had to, because here's what happens with the belief system. Yeah, I do tarot cards too. The belief system gives you a foundation. So we are taught that we need to have a strong foundation of who we are. We base who we are on that foundation. You rip that foundation up underneath of them, and they become schizophrenic. They can't handle it. And they'll start attacking you, because you are now the enemy for taking their foundation away from them.
Agreed.
Yeah, and that's a really good point. They actually literally do become schizophrenic. Take that 100%. Splitting of two personalities. Now you're talking to a different person. You have to realize that. You're not talking to the same person. It's different, right? With a whole nother character built up. They've already got this character. Now there's a whole nother character. They're bouncing between them. I've had to deal with a bit of this. Not me, but other people. When you realize it, you can treat them with a lot more respect and understand what's happening. So, okay, now I'm talking to this person. I talk to this person. It's hard to deal with, but that's
Yeah.
the only way you can do it without problems and stuff like this. You just have to
I feel
understand.
like I'm in a world of kindergartners, and I'm always saying this. I'm in a world of kindergartners, and how do you speak to kindergartners? Gently, easily, and with a lot of compassion. What else can you do? Because we're
Slowly.
in a world of kindergartners.
It's true. I mean, I look at the way they react. You know, everyone. You know, they just reacting like little children.
And it's just reaction. It's only reaction. It's just
only
reaction.
Yeah, exactly.
No control, no acting.
Action. Yeah, no action, just reaction. It's bizarre.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
I don't know. I just go my usual self, strutting through the streets with all smiles, like the world's still like it was. I don't want to spit everyone. No one's playing.
That's also how to deal with the energy. You're not blocking it. You're not blocking it. You're letting it wash over you. You're letting it earth through you and holding strong in your own vibration, smiling through it, being that split, being that division, because that's what it is. You are the happy person walking around, and that other person is very, very far away from happiness. That's, that's fear.
I literally am the split. I walk through a shopping center and people literally split. I'll walk and it's like the Matrix when he walks down the street and then everyone parts so he can just walk through. And it's just like, hello? It's just bizarre. But I mean, it's not like I'm paying that much attention to them. I'm just walking in like, right, I'm just going where I'm going. And everyone's like, whoa.
I walk at a very slow pace.
Do you?
Yeah.
No one can deal with it. There's a pace we have. I learned this in acting as well, when you just change your pace, right? So think about walking around in a museum. What pace are you? What pace are you going?
Yeah.
And then where are you? Where's your mind? Your internal thinking about things aware, right? But when you're going to I've got to, that's what these robots, that's what you're seeing is that. I have one thing on my mind, and as soon as you go to that pace of that fast, you're outside of your body. You're right. You're not aware. You're just.
Kallum, speaking of museums, the last museum I went in was my last museum. When you're going into a museum and they're giving you a set agenda of what they want you to believe, and I'm standing there going, lies, and this is what it really was, and this is what it really was. And I'm like, this is a lie. Let me tell you why.
Oh, we've had this.
I got a mouth on me. And it's
I got kicked out.
Come back here. Please don't come back here.
I think,
I got banned. I got banned from my national museum. I got it all on film. 8 guards kicked me out for taking photographs. They said, you can't take photographs. I said, these are not dinosaurs, are they? These look like chicken bones. They said, they're not chicken bones, they're dinosaurs. I said, they're not, they're chicken bones. Can I see your real dinosaurs, please? And they kicked me out, and they were really rough about it too. I had it all on film. So much out.
I've never been into a museum. I can't. I've never.
I walk in there, it's like, lies.
The Perth
Somebody made a
Museum
record
is
called
weirdest.
Chicken Bones with me on it. It's called Chicken Bones, the video. It's a musical video called Chicken Bones.
Is it?
About me getting kicked out of the museum. Yeah, it's a good video.
I'll have to watch it.
I also see this as blocks as well, like those blocks we've put on ourselves as well. Like, don't go in there. That's not for you.
It's funny.
And you don't know why you're doing it. It's like, no, it's not for me, right? But there are those blocks that we've put there to help us to go the right path.
Because there's going to be that certain sort of person in that place. Which you don't want
Well, that as well. But I've just never been into it. But I've always been into art. But haven't been to that many art museums. I've always been into history, but I haven't.
Oh, I love art
museums.
museums.
So it's bizarre, isn't it? But it's like you say, the people who you get in museums, they're a different kind of historian, aren't they? They're walking around going, see the proof, this is true and this is true, and you're like going, no. I can just
I don't go to those places because I actually speak up and say, excuse me, but I'll add this to that story.
I can see you in an art museum. I think you should go and try.
Give me a texter and I'll just rewrite it as I'm going around.
They just go find those groups of toppy noses. You know how they stand around pictures and they're like, oh, and the brush strokes and all this and the sunlight.
Yeah.
And Sonia just walks up and goes, and all the crap, and it's all the bullshit.
Yeah, definitely. See straight through it.
I can see
I
that
have a
too.
really hard time when I hear people pumping out crap. Just stand there and take it. I can't stand there and take it. It's like,
That's
wait a
real.
minute. If you're
A
gonna
real art critic.
Yeah,
Yes, yes.
It's shit.
it's shit.
And a lie.
Lie.
You
You're
pay
giving me
what for that?
anxiety, Aunt Sonia. It's like, well, you know. She won't. She's like, are we going anywhere? Like, you know, into the stores or something? She's like, I'm getting anxiety every time I go with you because you got a mouth on you and you'll tell the whole world off. And you'll be the only one and you'll be standing there fighting off the whole world and you're giving me anxiety. I'm like, grow a backbone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a lesson, little grasshopper.
Hello, learn. This is how to deal with the outside world. Don't put up with no shit.
That's one thing. I mean, that's probably one thing with all of us, but I just go from nice guy to don't you dare talk to me
crazy
like that. I'm not
psychopath.
that.
I know.
It's like, no. You said what? And
Sonia looks like she got a bit of a temper.
Schizophrenic?
Yeah, I snap like that, turn into a crazy person. You won't want me around a turn like, Jesus, dangerous.
I'm just.
Takes a lot though. Like I mean, 99% of the time I'm lovely, and then it's the 1% when somebody it'll be just somebody that'll just turn me, snap me. And then
Yeah.
What
are we doing?
Tell me what to do. You know,
We're
anyone-
processing
do
those
that.
emotions.
Ooh,
We're
no,
processing
or
those
anyone-
emotions.
That makes me nutty. People telling me what to do or imposing their will upon me and making me feel like I'm trapped or like maybe even trapped in my own place or something. That feeling will make me want to explode.
Because when it comes down to it, they're sitting there saying, I'm better than you and I control you, so do what I say. And that's like, oh, did you jump over that line? You could have stepped over the line, but you took a running jump. Why did you do that?
Yeah, that gets to me.
That's just like
bullies. I don't like bullies. I always made a beeline to pick on them. So I'm the bully of bullies.
Yeah. Well,
people
I
not
was a new
disrespectful
kid.
to women as well. I've had a thing about that. So anyone's abusive or just thinks that they can demean or talk to women in any other nature, because there's apparently an entire generation of males that think that they can talk to women however they want. It's just insane. They just don't talk to them as another person. It's like
So I put the image of my mum, the energy of my mum with every woman, and you can't disrespect your mum like my mum. I don't know about anyone else's. But it's just that energy, that motherly energy. It doesn't matter if you get it or not; it's still there.
So you're seeing it,
Thank you, Sophia. Yeah, I mean, yeah.
But
So it's nurturing and all of that.
Not sure about that with me.
I don't know, maybe that's the lesson, hey? Because that's the thing. If you react a way that someone's not expecting, then you completely change their state in an instant, don't you? I mean, we've all seen it, the person
People
who's
walk up to me and they think because I smile and I'm nice, I'm a pushover. Oh, do they have another thing coming? Hey, I might smile.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it?
it?
You're probably like me. You'll give them an inch and they'll take a mile.
Yeah, well,
and then you'll let
the
them hang
problem,
themselves.
yeah.
And that's what I do. I'll let them sabotage themselves in a relationship and let them go as far as they want, take what they want. I'll sit there and know what's going on and get to the end. And then karma works out because, there's everything has got an equal and opposite reaction in this place. And, there is definitely a reaction with anybody that's got any bad intent towards any other person.
Oh, yeah.
So I know that it'll all write out and it'll all work out and I'll be okay at the end. But I literally go through it. I go through the motions. I have to. It's just, even though
I'll
it's
do that too. I'll let them go and go. They'll get to a certain point and it's like, hang on to your hats, buddy, because you're getting mine now. And I'm like, a man or a woman, I gave you your turn. Now it's mine.
Yeah, that.
There's also, it's a psychology thing too, where you can't just put in the opposite energy. So if they're right up here and you're right down here, this is opposites. But if I meet you halfway, or if I come in at your energy, Now we're at the same energy. Now I can bring you down as well. I can
Yes.
control you as much as you're controlling me in all of this as well. And that's just staying aware and, you know, yeah, I know. But it's like you can do that.
Oh,
Like if
no.
someone's actually at that point, you can just come in and go, I know, that's so right. You're right on.
Oh no! I won't
And-
have
and-
anyone loud around me or any shouters.
All right,
no, they
Martin's
would
ears.
have to be gone. If I can feel their voice in my Brian, I don't want them around.
Your voice is still
Bouncing.
around the inside of his head,
Oh.
Callum.
No, Callum's all right. Callum's all right. He's just exercising and you know.
He's just
trying
teaching
to
us
explain
about
to us.
vibration and frequency.
That's all I am, though. Yeah, it's a fairly realm, isn't it? The things we put up with people, mind control victims. We've been mind control victims ourselves, so guys. Look at the, you know, if you think of it as an onion, the layers we've been taking back, you know, the things we believed in the past, you know, kings, queens, historical narratives, globes, spaceships, planets, and all of this stuff that we was just, you know, it consumed a lot of my thought, guys, a lot of the time.
Yeah.
You know, I'm looking at the
But,
stars
you know,
and thinking,
Mark-
they're light years behind. That's in the past. Isn't that incredible? Yeah, it really is.
But
Yeah.
it is, right?
When
It
I
is.
went out of this and I saw that there was no kind of space like we were taught, it's just black. It's like, that was really shocking to me. And I had to come back in and I had to go back out a couple of times and say, what's out here? What's out here? And it was a feeling of emptiness. And it's like, but I come here and I see there's these, oh, and it's like, oh, what am I seeing? And that's when I saw the grid. And all of that is holographic. And it's like when I tell people space is holographic, we're in a dome, a planetarium. I think that's what Cambell called it, a planetarium. And we're looking up at this. Why do you think everything is always the way it is, no matter what time, what year, no matter what century? If we had the Big Bang and we went boom, nothing would be standing still. It'd be still going. It would be inert motion and action. In 1,000 years, in 10,000 years, in a million years, you wouldn't have the same thing. You couldn't have the
You could
same
never
thing.
get an orbit. They're trying to say an explosion comes out and then everything suddenly went wee.
No, if we were spinning like madmen, how come the moon is stagnant? What, we're spinning and it's stagnant? In what reality does that work?
Yeah. Well,
and
I mean,
everything is accelerating when it's supposed to be losing momentum as well. So the entire universe is expanding out into they don't know what from that moment, which happens everywhere at the same time, by the way. Okay. So,
Yeah.
I just look at I look at the odds as well because I did 2 years as a poker player, so just calculating the odds. So I just see the odds and it's like, that's completely ridiculous. You don't understand how I can tell you how ridiculous in numbers. Like it's
they just stole the ancient Kabbalah idea. You know, it all stemmed. You know, I think quantum mechanics stole from ancient Kabbalah as well. You know, this idea of, you know, in their frame of mind, something out of nothing just appeared, spark. But the Kabbalah says it was the creator, got a bit bored, created a reality, which is experiencing. Quantum mechanics, they stole the whole idea of that theory from Kabbalah as well. You know, ancient, you know, Jewish mysticism, by the way, mysticism. Yeah. So it's just insane. That's where they get all sciences from. There's all these ancient
science. Yeah, science is seance.
science.
How do you find knowledge now? I conduct a seance to get my knowing.
I ask before I.
But they've converted it to no. This is how you get your knowing.
I ask for a download. I say, you know, I'm in a panic state a lot of the time, Callum. You know, I'm like, shit, I'm in this position now. The thing is, like you mentioned with information, sometimes I get the information. I'm like, okay, so what do I do with it? Well, what's the next? What do I do with this information? I've got it. You know, so that opens an entire, you know, school of thought in itself. Is how can I utilize this information in a positive nature now I've got it? So that keeps my brain busy all the time. But I ask for clearance on that. You know, can you clear me on that so I'm ready for the next thing? So I ask for downloads.
And there's a point where you have to release to it and trust it as well. You know, our perfect balance here is really 50% all knowing and 50%
it's
not
just
knowing.
uncanny. I can't tell you how uncanny. Campbell will know exactly what I'm talking about. But with this information gathering, you'll think it, and you'll think out the theory in your mind and think, well, that's pretty fantastical. And then you'll go searching, and with it, and you're like, shit, I just found it. And then I found some more, and then I found some more, and there's the answer all in one day. And it's just like, how could this even have happened? It's almost as if the information has just been handed to you, or if you're thinking like,
it's put at your feet. Every single thing you need is put at your feet for you. You just can't.
Yeah.
You just need to identify.
Simulation will give you what you ask for.
Yeah,
if you ask for something to this simulation, it'll give you what you ask for. Be prepared. Ask for something. You really
so I made a manifestation. I made a spell and a manifestation yesterday when I saw clouds coming over, and we're supposed to have rain tomorrow, I think, or whatever. And I just looked at the clouds and went, I will rain. Think about that. I will rain.
Yeah, that's right, because it'd be your experience. You'll be making the rain.
And you're willing it.
In your reality.
These are all levels, and it's will, our will.
Yeah. It's how you talk to the simulation. If you
Wisdom.
It's how you talk to the simulation, Sonia.
How you talk. If you say I want, then you're giving the simulation the power to make that decision. If you say I will, you are commanding.
So
and I said it as if it's already happened, like it's a demand. Yes.
And so this is
beyond that point, and it's happened then. Yeah.
And it rained, by the way, a little bit, but it rained. I'm like, thank you.
What state you in, Kallum?
It's the other. Sorry, Northern Territory, right in the centre of Australia.
Wow. He's in the heart,
next to the heart.
Yeah.
Right next to Pine Gap, right next to, close to the devil as well.
Yikes! Well, not literally.
What's underneath you?
They're not going to hurt themselves, are they? I mean, a perfect spot, right on their fence line.
Sounds cool, then.
What do you think's 100 feet beneath you, Kallum?
A lot. People have viewed down there and stuff as well. Like in every mountain, there's literally something pretty much,
Fine gap.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, don't fall off down there though. Yeah, Kallum, hold on. Thank God for gravity. Thank God for gravity. Where would you be without it?
It's an interesting name, isn't it? Like pine cone, which is a third eye, right?
It's like pineal gland.
And a gap. What are you doing, Kallum?
It's the gravity is taking away the spin of the earth. That's what should really happen.
Just need to run backwards really fast to go back in time. That's
Superman
done it all over again.
Superman done it. He just flew around that globe a few times, soon time back. You know how it works now, guys. You can all do this.
It's in that other movie as well where Corona, anorak or whatever, and it's ready, steady, go, and you go backwards. That's the first key. The first key to unlock, you go backwards. You invert the thing, right?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah, what is it? Ready Player One or whatever? Yeah, anorak, the master of this the game that they're now playing is Corona backwards.
The word is Corona backwards. Yeah, right. Anorak.
Wow.
I never knew
and
that.
it's and on the heart. Yeah.
Think about the words forwards and backwards. Forward, backward. To ward spirits, ward off, backward, forward.
I keep thinking of Tazerac.
That's got to be a part. Yeah, the cube within the cube. Yeah. Only reference to the fourth dimension in this realm. Yeah, why does that keep coming up constantly? And you see it a lot in ancient depictions as well. You've seen it way back, the Tesseract. So something to do with the whole story. I wonder what though. A key, another key.
It's not to do with Tesseract.
Well, what Campbell just said, it's all nautical terms, isn't it? I say the key. What Campbell just said, forward. Well, this is forward, is in the forward deck, the forward castle or forward. You got bow, where you bow, and bows. Everything in the maritime world is in their terminology, isn't it?
Yep.
Seems to hold all the answers too.
All those men in hats are very stern.
Very stern, indeed.
I was thinking like designer hats. So it's they've got their designation hats. So they're coming out on the trains or whatever. This is your hat. You're this person.
Yeah. Okay, you're butcher, baker.
Yeah.
Which hat?
Sorry, mate. You're a drag queen. It's the only hat I got left.
That's why
the horn thing. Yeah. The training hat. There you go.
Well, their names, their names derive of their jobs, don't they?
Yeah,
Like
yeah, exactly. So what
Cooper
happened? I've
and-
thought about this a lot, and they call them surnames now. So what happened to our real names? What were they?
Yeah, exactly.
Because
Yeah,
now,
instead of
now
our
if you
traits.
grew potatoes,
Yeah.
you're Murphy. If you're, mate,
Yeah, exactly.
Silversmith or
If you
whatever.
make arrows, you're Fletcher, barrel, you're Cooper.
Cooper.
There's so many of these. Yeah,
Yeah.
Butcher. How many
Yeah.
butchers are there?
And then the
Yeah.
sons, Jackson,
Barber's
Johnson,
an interesting one. Barber's an interesting one. Yeah.
Barber.
I'd like to get to the bottom of that poll, that bloody.
Well, it's
Well,
Italian blue and white, isn't it? It's your thing. And I noticed nuclear power stations have their chimneys, a lot of them in a blue,
Yeah,
a
you
red
showed
and white stripe, like the Barber's
Yep.
called,
Yeah.
or like the candy cane as well, which is
Yeah.
something to do with the North Pole
And
Hole.
the Christmas,
Called
it everywhere.
cane, yeah.
Yeah.
They try and say that the barber's pole is because barbers used to be the surgeons as well, and they were like all their blood-stained rags, and they blew in the
It is.
breeze and ended up wrapping around the poles.
That's the narrative, anyway. I don't buy that now.
Oh, come on, Martin. They all wrapped around in perfect symmetry, made nice little spirals. The other barbers went, "That's such a good idea. I'm going to do it as well." Oh, look, spirals as well.
That's macabre.
Bobby.
So you're
It's not like anyone walked past and went, "Oh my God, blood all over their pole. I'm not going in there." Holy crap.
Exactly.
It's not really good advertising, is it?
I'll go to the hairdresser.
Guaranteed to get some blood out with the scissors. Oh, no, that is bad advertising.
Oh, not many bloody rags on that one. He looks like a good surgeon. Yeah, that one looked too much blood over there.
You think
It's in everything. It's in war as well. It's like I was tracing my Scottish sort of heritage, and it's a red. My kilt was blue or whatever, but looking at the red kilts and it's blood, and it's because of all of that and stuff as well.
So is blue and red the
tartan,
two bloods, is
tartan.
it? Is that the two bloods, blue bloods and red bloods? Is that the blue and red?
Yeah, it was, the red ones were mercenaries because they got blood on their kilt, so they didn't have to wash it off. Yeah,
But I mean, the blue and red that everyone like the blue.
that's
and-
everywhere. That's
yeah,
everything.
everywhere. Yeah,
Because that's what it is.
Is that where it comes down from? The different blood types that the two beings here, or the
Female,
good and
male
evil, whatever it is.
expression.
Us
well,
and them.
our negative bloods and stuff, they've been talking to you. Blue
It's the-
bloods.
The blue bloods, yeah. Blue bloods. The Queenie and her clan.
My sister's a rhesus negative.
Bunch of racists,
Red-
aren't they? Don't like black
Monkey
babies.
blood.
Mm.
Sinister.
Did you hear about that Oprah interview?
Which one? The recent one? Yeah, I've seen about that.
And
Yeah,
they've come
that's
out, and she's come out, and she's gone,
Theatre.
"They said I would have a black baby, and they didn't like my black baby." I'm looking at this girl going, "You're not black, and you've just married the whitest person in England."
Yeah.
And you think your baby is going to come out with any kind of melanin in it? You are, what the hell? I mean,
It's all from Winfrey, though, isn't it? Look at her
Just
name,
like-
Orphan.
it's just
awful.
like, oh, well, you've got dark hair. Let's pretend that you're African American. Just come on the show and racism people.
Yeah, 1 + 1 does not equal 2.
Bill Gates
No,
is
they're
bringing out
they're
a.
insane.
It's confusion. Like when I did the etymology on the word war
War.
goes back to
War.
confuse, mix up, and that's what we're in now. A war. It's just more confusion, more mixing up, and it's always been war. That's
Yeah, this is a big mind war, a big mind war.
Unbelievable.
And we're in it now.
Mm.
And I've always said that the biggest weapon is fear. Fear is the
Yeah.
weapon of the day. It's the choice.
It's
Yeah.
they live time, right? We need to blow up the
I'll be back in a sec.
stations of TVs. It's just,
It is.
I mean,
it's
it's
exactly that.
social
and more.
media too, isn't it? Really,
Oh, the mafia media. Mm.
like it's,
Well, they carry a license for entertainment, right? All media does. They carry a license for entertainment. That way you can't sue them.
yeah, right.
They cover their ass.
Because they're licensed.
They're licensed for entertainment. So they can say whatever they want and you cannot sue them. And this is why they hold the license. Now, how many people know that?
The lie, right? The lie sense.
Oh, yeah.
Lie to your senses.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
Actually, while you're on that, it's for entertainment purposes, guys. Use that everywhere, and you're covered as well. Every meme I put out, I tag it with entertainment, humor,
Oh, okay.
comedy,
So
no
video
matter what.
Things, yeah, right.
Oh, I could get away with that. I do entertainment.
And
Yeah. It really doesn't matter. People know whatever's going on. You're just doing their little thing, so you're covered as well. The tricks work both ways, right? The tricks work both ways. If we know them, then it's like I learned how to do hypnosis. I didn't realize until later, but I'm working out how they do the trick, you know, and it's putting people off balance. Like all I have to do is push you at your physical balance point, and then take control over you at that moment. That's fear. Like it's just straight off balance. You're going so far off balance. Where do you come back to? Where do you spring back to? You spring back to that new belief I gave you. Right?
That's what they're doing now.
Yeah.
It actually works this way in the pyramid as well. As you're going up through the pyramid, there's that little chamber before the king's chamber. So that's an imbalance point. So when it comes back down, it comes back to the frequency of it's just an easy way for something to change into the frequency you want. Instead of going there, it'll unbalance it and go back to that frequency that you want. So it's a quick way of training someone. So in hypnosis, you can hypnotize someone instantly by just knowing what you're doing and upset their balance and drive a command in at that time when they're imbalanced, when they're confused.
Right.
And they jump for the first thing, which is your suggestion. You demanded it. You went sleep.
So you could do something like, I don't know, tell people there was something deadly that was going to kill them in the air and they all had to stop work and shut down their businesses. And then you could suggest maybe that they put.
Yeah. So first step, I need to upset you. I need to shift you. I need to create a moment of confusion and then put in my suggestion. And this is what they're doing media. Everything.
They all watch telly as well, all of these people who think they're infected. There's something they all got in common, isn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe it was done through the television, you know.
Yeah.
They live.
Because you were trained from birth to watch the TV because it tells you things.
Oh, I was terrible.
Isn't it horrendous? Like probably all of us spend every Saturday, Sunday morning, like staring, you know, like this, you know, a meter away from the box, you know, for 3-4 hours.
Cartoons Saturday morning. Yep.
Yeah. Saturday morning cartoons, and we look forward to it. Watch Scooby-Doo and all of that.
Yeah. Oh, Pink Panther.
I found my school diary the other day, and I'm looking through it, and they have all these rules about homework and all these things, which I never did. I didn't do any of the bullshit that they told me to do. But it was something like 6 hours of homework when you get home. It's like, well, wait a second, how is any of this maths working out? There's just no time when you can do natural things, which could be being with your family.
I
and
never let my kids do homework. I just said, no, I'm not doing homework, and they never did.
Waste of time.
And they sat there, and you know, my son taught himself to play guitar, and now he's an awesome guitarist. You know, so.
Right brain, creative.
Awesome dad,
Yeah,
awesome
exactly.
dad. That's the way.
2 flat thumbs right there.
Flat thumbs.
Yeah, 2.
One. You're racist, man. I've only got one.
Metal flat thumbs.
Oh, there you go. Yeah,
I love it. It's right in the middle. It's on the line of balance.
that way.
You know, it's like playing chess. Play for a draw. You get the most interesting game, and no one loses.
Play for a draw.
Play for a draw.
Yeah, that's how you play chess. They do it in the Masons and whatnot, the checkerboard and everything. You're winning or you lose. That's the game that they've set up there. But don't be game. Play for a draw, and that's the most exciting. That's what we're doing here. This game that we're playing, we're not playing to win or lose the game. We're playing for a draw, balance, where everyone wins.
I'm a Libra, and I require balance.
Yeah. That's why you find it. That's why you have to do this. You have to balance.
Life as well. I'm a typical Libran as well. You know, if things are in imbalance, I'll do whatever to get the balance. This is how I've been in my life. I do require balance. I'm very balanced.
I need to find out my moon sign. How do you find that out? I'm gonna have to learn that.
Oh, I had mine done.
Because I'm a Leo, and I'm
so I just worked out they fucked all that up as well, and I thought I was Sagittarius for my whole life, but I'm not. I'm Scorpion.
So what's your date of birth? End of October.
10th of the 12th, 81, December.
Hey, you were born in the 80s? Oh my God.
But the chart they give
feel so
you.
old.
It's hard to believe the things I was up to before you were born, mate.
So nostalgic about the 70s. Love the 70s.
I know.
70s is epic. 70s was brilliant.
Yeah, I was like, that great pictures, mate. Great.
But I was in that music. You know, I was listening to the good music still. Like,
so you were like,
the real.
wow, that's bizarre.
Well, how does it work with the birth charts anyway when they're supposed to be 13 months?
Yeah, well,
Exactly.
Well, that's hidden.
Exactly.
That's hidden as well. I see the cycle here is 12. The physical cycle is 12. That's what we see. But then there's that third part which is hidden, which is the occult. But it's supposed to be hidden as well. It's just if you hide it completely, then it's there. It's there, but it's hidden.
But
It's
often
Cambell
you-
nailed it with the sky clock.
That's right.
Sorry?
What was that, Martin?
Sonia?
You nailed it with the sky clock. You know, they took us
Oh.
away from our natural clock in the sky with this artificial time thing construct.
Yeah.
When it's all based on that. The farmers go by the sky clock. You know, when they know when to crop, they don't go on a date, do they? Just when nature sorted this stuff out.
Well, why do you think all the old, what's the word, like fairs, ceremonies, celebrations?
Yeah, like maypole and stuff
yeah,
like
they were
that.
all on
Yeah.
astronomical dates and all to do with the
But now they
the
fudge
clock.
the dates. They add hours. They do daylight savings time, and everyone's out of sync with it all. You know, and everyone's
That's to
supposed
keep you off kilter.
to keep you off
All of it to
kilter.
keep you off kilter.
Exactly.
You are never to be stabilized. Never.
No. Away from the sky clock and our
Mm,
natural place.
Yes.
exactly.
This is the whole thing with the moon cycle too. It doesn't even coincide with the months.
Yeah,
Not
no.
being evil.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's and well, that's the whole thing about astrology. Like you said, it's if there's 13 moon cycles and there's 13 star signs, then everyone's date gets shifted a bit.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So like
Yeah.
everyone's like,
Yeah,
everyone's
exactly.
like, oh, I'm this star sign, but
It's a circle of 12, but it's spiraling. So what we get from that, so it's the cycle, but it's spiraling. So it's always moving that tiny little bit out of alignment, right? That's reality. That's why we're experiencing. If it was a complete cycle, perfect, wouldn't be
That's
there.
just like our seconds. Our seconds are off. We used to be able to count 1,000, 2 1,000,
Mississippi.
3 1,000.
From Mississippi
Yeah.
to Mississippi.
1,000, 2 1,000, 3 1,000.
Seconds were long.
Ah,
And now it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. What happened to the Mississippi, guys? The bit in between. They've taken away our Mississippi. We got little crunchy little seconds close together.
It's like our time is so screwed up. It's even down to our seconds that are screwed up. Everything's screwed up.
I noticed the seconds. I thought about it
Yeah.
the other day as well, Sonia, that with the seconds.
You do realize when they changed our seconds, they changed the time that we're in, which means that they're saying that we're a day older each time, but actually, this is why people can't get proper sleep. This is why people they're becoming off balance because you're not getting your 8 hours anymore. You're getting less. And then the progression of getting less and getting less and getting less is going to be snowballing. It's really will throw you off kilter.
so
I'm all over with sleep.
Yeah. And
Oh,
have you
buddy.
noticed that our time is speeding up? This goes along with the time speeding up. Oh my
Look at
gosh,
that.
the day is gone. Oh my
I
gosh, the
stared
day
at-
is gone.
Sonia, I stared at Callum for so long, eventually disappeared.
Can you bring him back?
there. He's there, though. He's there. Oh, it worked, Callum. I tried it.
He's gone. He's zapped into a portal.
Yeah, quick, eat some tree sap.
I would eat tree sap, but I don't know if that's toxic for us. I mean, I'm not
Oh
happy.
yeah, I tasted it. It's nasty, tree sap. chasing a few different. When you're a boy, you chased everything in the natural world. Tree sap's not that nice.
Oh, it reminded me. It reminded me of a sap. It's like an insect sap that is everywhere here, but it's a sugary crystal sap that the insects make, and as a eating thing, it's amazing. Like as a food and all of this, it's sap. It's the blood of the tree. Really, it's the energy of the tree. So all of this sort of stuff is a great survival sort of thing as well. It's like when you're looking for food and stuff, don't.
Does maple syrup? What's that? Does that make you go through portals? Ooh.
Is maple syrup actually from a
Maple World?
Yeah,
No,
maple
it's
world.
not.
You end up in Canada.
Well, we are going through portals when we're taking certain drugs and stuff as well.
Ooh,
Right, like a DMT trip is
and marijuana. A part of marijuana does something with your.
The psychotropics in cannabis, no doubt about it. But I've always, I spent my entire life, I guess, microdosing and more as well. So, shifting frequency, I find easy for myself, When you're dealing with the outside world, they say we're acting all of the time and we put on a different personality to, deal with whoever's in front of us to suit that person. So you don't startle them with your true selfness or anything.
Yeah. That's part of the confusion. I mean, all psychologists are told that too. Everyone's wearing a different hat. So, and you put on a different hat for each person or whatever. That's
what they say.
You be who you are.
This is what I am. I could only be this anyway.
Yes,
I'm saying
that's right.
It's a bit startling for a lot of people. There was one kid. She said, "Mommy, what's the matter with that man?" So just quite.
What is you?
What do you mean? What's the matter?
Me?
I'm scaring children.
Stop scaring children. But to be able to shift frequency and I like to be on a to enhance sensory perception as well. So in a sense, they're knocking the doors around you, trying to do a census. These circles.
Census, nice.
Yeah, during Armageddon, they always do. During any reset, they do a census. They did it just before apparently the birth of Christ. There was apparently a census. During Moses in the basket, a census and stuff.
Yeah.
Sounds very similar to census, doesn't it?
Last summer,
And
came around and did
us.
census here too. Yeah, we had it too.
Sorry, what was that?
My house, and we had a census here last summer. A guy was literally walking around house to house. I wouldn't answer my door for like a month, so he kept leaving me pamphlets on the porch. And then finally one day, I answered the door and I'm like, "What is it? What do you want?" He goes, "Well, I'm here to take a census." He had his mask on and everything. And I'm like, "Well, my brother's not here, so I don't know what to say. Why don't you get a hold of the federal government and find out?" He goes, "No, the census has nothing to do with the federal government." And then I found out it's a whole different branch that has nothing to do with the federal government.
Yeah, Serco. Same
It's
people
like,
are doing
okay,
it
well,
in ours.
Serco.
Different corporation.
Serco.
Another dead
People who
Yes.
run all the jails. Are you serious?
Same people who own, they run the social. They got another name as well, beginning with E. I can't remember it, but they run social securities. They run prisons, prison vans, guards, all that. Everywhere.
They're huge. That group is
Everywhere.
massive.
Yeah.
They own all of Australia almost,
And
pretty much.
They've been done so many
That's the
times.
network.
They've been found out doing dodgies and all. It's so often.
Oh yeah, they're all corrupt. Of course they are.
so corrupt, and they just keep going. Really?
Comes with the territory.
Comes with territory, yeah. Poll tax. They send these people from Serco. They're like enforcers, aren't they? To bailiffs.
Yeah.
I seen an orb behind you.
Yeah, to census, and then once
I seen an orb.
Everyone's dead. They'll come out and see who's left.
Callum, you had an orb behind you. Then
joking.
just floated on the back of your head like that.
Welcome.
It had an orangey, a sort of violety glow to it.
Behind his head.
My magic wand, just in case.
Yeah, that was good. They probably all home in when you start looking. They come in like droves, don't they?
Yeah. Hey, Callum, is that your friend in the black robe and the funny mask behind you there?
What is it?
Just off camera. Just off camera. Mum loves masks. There's masks I'm looking after my parents' place. There's masks everywhere, so it's this weird sort of. I like
don't
it.
mind
but
masks. I've got a couple
I
of
got
tribal ones from when I did a bit of traveling, but yeah, my partner just hates them. Just won't let me put them up. Just not. It's bizarre.
I got
and
this.
it's-
Mum's got this weird ceramic doll too. They just creep me the fuck out. I can't do
like the
that.
Victorian, like dolls.
Yes.
Yeah, they're
Yes.
And you know what's worse? Are the baby doll, like the ones that look like babies. They're freaky.
They're possessed.
They are
They're possessed by the devil itself. They are really, really evil. And they look at you. They look at you going off as well. What's with that? You got attitude, little China doll?
They look down at you, I know.
They look down at you.
Even if they're below you, they're still looking down at you. I can't work it out.
Bastard
They
doll.
do. Very snooty, yeah.
They're very smooth.
I just think that must have been a very evil time period anyway. Like,
Yeah.
it's just,
No shit.
we get these feelings from this thing. Like, something bad happened right there, right?
Yeah, no shit, definitely. So spooky. Oh, I get that with them dolls and China dolls. I get exactly that buzz. They're all Annabella to me. All of them.
I mean, where did dolls come from? I mean, do they all come from voodoo dolls originally? Because
Probably.
Good point.
Some kind
the
of
Probably.
whole,
energy.
the whole
Some
thing
kind
of
of
kids
energy.
playing with dolls and it's like make-believing another life rather than getting out and living theirs and being in nature and that. It's kind of, it's the whole build a family, and they tell you, don't you? Oh,
Well, yeah.
who's mummy? Who's daddy? Oh, make your little family. Oh, send them off to work.
Yeah, it could be social engineering, bringing in little prams and little dolls, selling them at Christmas. So, like, this is the way the women
And
got to be. They
you
got
can even
loads
get,
of
like,
little
little-
kids. Look,
You get like little
Is it
stoves
training?
and stuff. Like
you won't be needing an education.
Barbie doll. The Barbie doll. This is what women are supposed to look like. A Barbie doll. This
Yeah.
is the
Look at them now.
Barbie
They've
doll.
changed.
yeah, they've gone worse, but they did the
Okay.
tests on the original Barbie, and the body of the original Barbie is, it's impossible. If someone actually had that body, they couldn't live. It's
No, you
impossible.
can't
Yeah,
have
that's
clothes
so.
that's this big
Yeah,
and
yeah.
boobs that big. You topple over.
The waist compared to the boobs and the hips and stuff.
And as a dinosaur. This
Do you
don't
reckon
work.
Do you reckon it was a man who designed that, or what?
She was anorexic as well, wasn't she, Barbie?
Oh yeah, with
Horribly.
with a
Little
boob
legs,
job and body
Big
implant.
boobs, big
Yeah.
butt, little teeny waist.
Oh, what about her bastard cousin, Cindy?
Cindy, whatever happened to
Cindy, her
Cindy?
bastard cousin.
Whatever
Oh,
happened to Cindy? Cindy
I don't know.
tried
My
to
Action
stay
Man
in there.
strangled her. Yeah, the Action Man and Cindy used to get up to all sorts when we were.
Action
Yeah,
Man.
Action Man and Cindy strangled her.
Ah,
with his gripping hands and his eagle eyes. Did you
I
have
remember
Action Man?
Cindy. Yeah, my sister.
My
had a
sister
Cindy.
had the Cindy house, the whole caper, the whole lot, the whole house kitted out. with
Yeah, my
Cindy
sister
stuff.
had like the 3-story bloody Barbie
that.
townhouse thing. Yeah.
It was vile. It was vile. I can't
Yeah.
believe they make us suffer this way in this reality.
Yeah.
It's horrible, this place.
Yeah.
I didn't have many action figures or anything like this. My hobby
What?
when I was really young was magic, so I was into tricks
So you
and
use-
magic.
Use magic with your action figures. Yeah, they have superpowers and
Yeah,
stuff.
real magic actually,
I didn't know.
which is imagination. Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't
Yeah,
know.
I was in an imaginary magical world and it disappeared when I was about 6 or 7 years of age and I went into grieving because it was no longer there. I mean, like if somebody died close to me, really depressed, really unhappy. My spark went where I was grieving for this world that just disappeared. I lived in.
Did you
all my
have
life.
a imaginary friend?
Oh.
Yeah.
Not so much one imaginary
Right.
friend, more I was seeing a lot going on, just
Mm.
people everywhere, things appearing, just stuff.
I've heard that
happening off the
Quite a few
radar.
times, and always around sort of 6 or 7, and it's this really
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Yeah.
traumatic kind of loss kind of thing, and then it's like, yeah, you go from sort of still half being in the real
was the
world
worst
and sort
grief.
of into the full world,
Yeah, it was the
But
worst.
the only imaginary person you can have is Santa Claus. All right, that's it. We'll give you that. We'll give you that one. But
Money. And the Easter Bunny.
Of course. Two. There we go.
No, I never had an
The
imaginary
White
friend.
rabbit.
No, I never did.
I'm
either.
still following that white rabbit, trying to find that egg.
I got a black rabbit. He's running around my place. I thought I'd
Black
go with the
rabbit.
opposite. I thought if they take
I had a rabbit.
white rabbit, I got a red, I got a black one.
You're
I got a
find
white rabbit when I was really young, and I was magic and everything, so I called him Alfonso, and I found his head on the ground one day with a hole in the bunny cage.
Probably killed by the Mexican cartel.
Oh,
by
my
the cats, yeah.
Killed me. It killed me. It was
That's
like-
cruel.
God.
I had to recapitulate this stuff to clear this stuff. It was nasty.
Well, it's what it is. It's
Oh,
when you tries to
terrible.
cram him in a hat and all of that. It's really cruel.
Yeah.
Make
I couldn't
blood.
do. I couldn't do
Oh.
even dove work and stuff like
Doves,
that.
Yeah,
No,
I mean, the
I'm
poor
just like,
doves, they're like, no wonder they fly away. They're like, oh my
You-
God,
you-
I'm free. Bloody hell.
yeah.
I know.
I'm watching a magician knowing that he's got like 20 doves stuffed in his jacket. Like
Yeah.
it's just not when you know how it's
How
done.
they do it. Yeah.
There's cruelty. Yeah, yeah.
Where does he keep his
That's
veggies?
Cruel.
He was smuggling
I'm
his
only asking.
budgies.
Where does he keep his veggies?
And budgies in his budgies, yes. Always like there was always two down there. Yep.
Tickly. You could fly. You could fly.
Some were hatching live during the show, you know.
What are you doing smuggling those budgies? I'm trying to fly. I'm trying to fly.
It could work. Oh, you could get all the finches to join in and all the other birds. Lift you up.
Quick, shove that bird down.
That's the image I got of Care Next League is like a massive big gay dude with spandex on the beach working out. That was my idea of Ken. I'm like, no, thanks.
Yeah.
Barbie and
Okay.
Ken.
Gosh.
Kenneth's move bits.
Not my cup of tea.
Just saying.
This is my cup of tea, not that thing.
Oh, I've run out of coffee. I'm hoping my son was going to make me one.
Don't you hate that when you pick up your coffee
Yep,
cup
yep.
and it's just like this cold 2 centimeters in the bottom and it's like, oh, I could
Iced
almost
coffee.
drink that. I could
Still
almost
good.
drink that.
It's still good.
I like cold coffee. There's nothing wrong with it. It's fine. I always
Yeah.
drink my coffee.
When it's an espresso, when it's a proper espresso, There's my-
Oh,
Espresso
is that your
machine.
invention? Oh, look at that. Oh my
Yeah.
God. Days.
that's
He
an
likes that.
ECM. Geneziano.
And you put a lily underneath it, did you?
Oh no, that's just a cloth.
What time is it in Australia land then?
I'm
Now.
1:30. 1:30
Oh,
here in the
not,
morning.
Not so bad.
Crap, what
Not
is
so
it,
bad.
man? We're only
Not so bad. Not so bad. Because meet you
It's
anyway.
perfect.
Carl.
All the sheep are asleep. I don't have to deal with their energy.
midnight.
Do you have a lot of sheep there?
I love nighttime.
Oh, people. All right, yeah. I mentioned sheep.
Sheeple.
Oh, there'll be
Sheeple,
sheep,
sorry.
sheep there as well. The sheep
Oh,
everywhere.
it's
Yeah.
not their fault. It is it. We do fight for their freedom, etc. Even though they're horrible towards us, and like you said, psychopathic. If we are, try
Yeah.
You know, Martin, I said the same thing. I'm fighting for these idiots who don't appreciate me and they'll attack
I
me
know,
and kill me if
I
they have
know.
a choice.
Well, don't worry about it.
But I mean,
Because you'll be smiling when you're older, thinking I did a good thing. So don't even worry about it. Even now, what you have done in reality is it's a very good thing. So you just nailed it. So don't even worry about all that. Ugh.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I know it's
because they're
bad, but we are.
children, right? They act like children, and we've got to be like parents and just
Educate them.
forgive it all and try and keep them going forward.
Adhering to the one rule, adhering to don't force anyone to do anything.
I just want people to remember.
We just have to adhere to it, so it's tougher for us. It's easier for them because it's forced but not forced.
It is
If-
right.
yeah.
You're right. It is tougher for
It's
us.
got to make them play
Aw.
mind games with them. That's always
I'm
fun.
telling the Matrix, let them wake up now. Let them wake up
Yeah,
now.
yeah. I will it. I will it.
I will let them wake up today.
The great head slap.
Yeah.
What was
And
that?
we'll convert that one to Latin as well.
I was in a really trippy moment then, thinking I was in the middle of some sort of pandemic and everything was really strange. Glad I'm back now. That was weird. Everyone wearing masks and locked down and gone crazy. But
Oh my God.
I keep remembering a line in The Big Lebowski. It's like I'm a child that wandered into the middle of a movie. That's what it feels like to me. You're a child that's just wandered into the middle of a movie. It's like, what the fuck?
Somebody
Just try
said,
to work it out.
I read a meme this morning on Instagram, and apparently it was a Henry Kissinger famous quote. Obviously, I can't say this happens. And you saying that if everyone, once they get everyone to accept the vaccine, game over.
Game over. Yep.
Game over.
Yeah.
He said.
And he's saying this to a whole bunch of investors and all of this. And
He
it's
said they're in trillions of dollars. It's a massive cash cow, and it was, it's just
we all win from this.
Yeah.
And isn't it interesting that they say
Later
game
down.
over?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Game.
He said that. Game over, as in the levels, like like in a computer game, isn't it? Game over.
Game's
We have
over.
Look at that word too. Are you game? Are you becoming game? Yeah. Yeah.
Are we
Everything is a
done?
game, and they started us out in the very beginning as a game.
Exactly.
They
Like the
started
theatres of war.
Yeah, everything started with the verbal game, then it went to a board game, then it went to tech game, and then we're in cyber world. So we have our reality and we have cyber reality. Which reality are you in? You in cyber reality? Or you in
Weird.
Spider-Man.
I never conceived that we're in a cyber reality just till then. So I'm speaking to two people in Australia. Sonia,
That's a good point.
it's a very good point. At this
What world
moment
are you
in
in?
time. Weird.
But I mean, that's
Yeah.
the thing, isn't it? We've got to sort of hang half in that world to get anything done, really, don't we, at the moment?
Yeah,
Yeah,
definitely.
we do. Unfortunately, we are forced into the cyber world, whether we like it or not.
But at least, I guess, at least we
It's
know
our
that
reality.
we're there. That's the
Mhm.
advantage is we know it's cyber world.
Well, it's where the war's being fought,
Yeah.
though, because it's not in the physical realm, is it? It's being
No.
fought on
Yeah.
here.
It's in the cyber world. We are fighting cyber time. The problem is that we've been put to the direction through the gaming systems to be in the cyber time where that is wherever you put your attention and your focus, that's your reality, period.
Yep.
Yeah.
So we are geared toward the cyber world, and we have been. And now with these lockdowns and with these masks and everyone afraid of each other.
Was the first game hunting? Because why do they call animals game?
That's
Yep.
exactly it. The
That's
first
right.
game to get humanity into any kind of a
Into a
gaming
lower?
thing was hunting. Because at one point we didn't eat like that. They changed us.
Hmm.
Yeah. Don't worry about it, Campbell. You've got multiple lives, mate. Don't worry about it.
This is just one grain of sand in a never-ending sea of realities.
It is.
This must be like really the one of the weird ones, then, is it?
Yeah, you're not kidding. I keep thinking I want out, I'm ready.
I
I
remember
know.
thinking that when I was like 3 or 4.
Yeah, when you understood.
same.
Yeah.
Had enough, guys. I got
Why is there so
Sandy,
much wrong here?
Yeah,
Why am I
What's the
feeling
matter
so
with
wrong all the time?
It was not the place, it was the people. It was this construct. How is all of this work in the cities and all of these fucking people doing my head in? Because I find
Just
that, like,
noticing children. Like I was always in wilderness playing, camping, all of this sort of stuff.
woods.
I don't see children around a lot. No, they're hiding in home, playing
Well,
their
that's-
games, doing
Yeah,
all this.
because the whole world's at your fingertips inside, but you can't see it in person. So that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. There's an energy we get from a child. So if you're at like a family, whatever, and you've got kids running around you doing their thing, having
My
fun,
son had this like
playing.
hyper energy. You had to go, "Whoo."
Yeah, and we are we're bathing in that. That doesn't happen much anymore, does it?
No.
That
But
family
look
unit.
what they're given. Look at all the information and the ads. Like, when was the last time you saw an ad going, brand new in a park near you, made of wood. It's got branches. You can climb it. Leaves everywhere. You might find an animal. It's a tree. You know?
A bee's
like-
nest. The hype.
Sit out in front of your computer.
Yeah,
That's
they
the
can
thing,
Google
maybe
it.
we need-
CGI tree.
Maybe we need. It's a tree. Just don't bite it.
Yeah,
What's
it's
a
even
tree?
like that at schools now. They set you in front of a computer in a class with nothing to do with the kids around you or the teacher. That teacher's just standing there being a big babysitter and you're on a computer.
Mm.
So whether you opt to go to school or sit at home, there's no difference.
Yeah.
You can't even be with your classmates.
Rubbish.
Stupid.
Can't even be naughty or anything.
When I taught children youth theatre, when I taught the youth theatre, all I did, like I knew it afterwards. I'm like, I'm breaking someone from their shell. Like I had this one child come in and they're around the back of their mum's leg holding on, and I'm, the stage becomes that providing that safe space where you can actually be yourself. You can allow it to come out and no one's judging you. They're all like, sweet, that was great, man. But then they are breaking a shell. I'm like, why did I have to do that? Why was there a shell there in the first place to break?
Good point.
Yeah. And that's when I went, boom, that came from the schooling system. That these were 7, 6-year-olds. That was the group. And then up to about 10 to 12.
Yeah.
And they've already got it.
Good point.
Yep. There should not be a shell for me to break. They should just know themselves.
But it's
There was that time, and that's what I was doing. I was like, I saw that kind of thing, but didn't realize what I was doing. I just had to fix the fucking problem that's here. It was like, I didn't know why or how. Or whatever.
This whole thing with siblings and this whole rhetoric of, brothers should beat up their younger brothers and you should bully each other and play tricks. And I mean, that's pretty much the social kind of rhetoric about that. And it's just like, I got 2 boys and they have never, ever had a fight. Like when they were,
I got beaten up all the time. I've got 2 older brothers.
Yeah, I mean, that was not allowed in my house. It was, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
You respect each other. If someone tries to hit you, you both beat them up, but you don't hit each other. It's like,
yeah, I just see the play acting of the movies and the fighting and all of this as well.
It's just from day one. It's just like break people down, give them a big shell, all this stuff, and build up all this crap around them. And like, that's the whole thing, make them more controllable, but give them more stuff to worry about, I guess. I don't know. Do you reckon they think more than we do because they worry? Because or do they not? Because they say what is it? Absence is the devil's playground. Absence of thought is the devil. When you don't think. Oh no, boredom. Is it boredom? Boredom is the devil's playground. Is that it?
Idle hands.
Idle hands.
If someone can't stop and be themselves and have boredom, like it's the next thing they're looking for, the next tweet or the next thing on the thing.
TV, social media.
Shit scared of themselves.
Yeah,
so then they don't think. So that's the thing. They have more focus, but I'm not very focused, but I'm not focused. How do I explain it? Like I'm always focused on something,
Campbell, focus.
But it's so subconscious that it's
everything else is carnage except for your perfection.
It's just set there, but my perception is much bigger.
Yeah, same here.
If you know what I mean, I'm sort of walking with this big perception, but I'm still focused. Whereas all these other people, they're literally focused like this, and their perception's even smaller. It's like, how does that work?
When you're gazing a bigger picture and you place your focus, but now I can put my focus over there so you can see where to go and you can go where you need to go and stuff as well.
Yeah.
So like find information. I just find the problem I'm having that needs to sort out in my mind.
Yeah, well, that's when you have your open perception and your focus, stuff just comes in. And like you say, you see it and it's like, oh. And it's like Martin was saying with research, you just, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
thank you. Okay, nice, cool. Yeah, all good. And then half the time it's like, and you get this compulsion to read something or to watch it and it doesn't seem to make any sense. And you get halfway through and say, thank you.
That's why I watched that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I watched that Tom Oblivion.
Yeah.
And I don't like Tom Cruise. I've never watched his movies.
But they show you a mud-flooded world.
They show you a mud-flooded world.
Statue of Liberty up to stopping mud.
And there's a bit where he's flying through a canyon, and he flies through this bit, and where he comes out, they show the back, and it's buildings. And so literally, this canyon is covered like buildings. But the whole thing is the whole story is
Clone.
that he's a clone, but he thinks he's doing the right thing and fighting for one team, but he's actually fighting for the other team. And also you never see, all you see is the person on the screen, right? It's exactly like what's happening now.
That woman on the screen, she wasn't even real. She wasn't even real.
Wasn't even real.
No,
exactly. And that's exactly where we are. It was all off-world, some other entity controlling everything, a big joke. And that's what, I don't know, I watch it and I'm just like, that's holy crap.
Yeah, we might not even be on Earth at all. It might be just some sort of separate thing. Nothing to do with it. Just that's what's just presented in the part of this construct and all of these memory implants and everything else. How do you know that we're not having, like, when we down, at night on Dark City is when the shifts happen in the film Dark City, Michelle Beach. So when you go to sleep, 12 o'clock, and then the city like shifts and everything and changes, and they do like people come in and extract memories and put memories in as well, or fake memories. So, when we shut off at night, that's a mystery in itself. Are we getting any,
downloads,
technology used to implant memories and remove memories? Could they do it in an instant?
Of course they could, because you're in a data stream.
Because of
you're
the
in a data stream. What can they add to the data stream? What can they take away?
I just need to know your frequency.
Yeah. See,
that's it. You have a unique frequency signature. If I know that, I can tap into you anywhere.
They do it. They do it. They say they've done it through the Montauk project. For years, I thought that years ago, I thought I was somewhere involved with it. It's some weird thing in my head. But that's how they got you, is they found the person's specific energy signature, and they just like extracted them, to Montauk chair and whatever these different projects were around the realm, all to do with the same subject.
Yeah, so that's just entrainment. That's just entrainment. They're entraining to your frequency and then changing it how they want. So you're now entrained to their frequency.
Same with evil entities as well. Evil entities in this realm. I find that if you're a specific frequency, they just like try and do something about it. They will try and just affect it or something. It's just like. Sorry.
And we should mention here. We should mention here. How do you fix this? How do you solve this problem?
Recognition.
Is raise your vibration, change your vibration, so you are not what they're looking for anymore. Exactly. They can't. Yeah.
Exactly. Recognizing it and knowing it.
You change your vibration. Once you change your vibration, you're off what they're looking for. Exactly what he said. Because since we're coming in as a data stream. Just think of all these data streams coming down into this simulation and say there was a hacker and you're going to hack these data streams. Well, if you don't have the code frequency, because you changed your data stream frequency, they'll have to go back and do another thing to try to find the actual codes to break back in. And if you're constantly changing your codes by changing your frequencies like this, it'll be almost damn near impossible to hack.
Cool.
Yeah. But let's do this the opposite way. Let's invert this. And now let's put this frequency pattern of harmonious, right? So let's put a beautiful snowflake in the water with our antiquitech and all of this, and that's what we entrain to. So it can go both ways, right? But it's inverted.
I like that. That's nice. That'd work.
Yeah, but it's just putting those things together so we can see that whole picture. It's not the technology, it's how we use it. It's whether we're using it to improve ourselves. We are the technology. We're the prime mover, right?
I'm not primitive. They say primitive.